Good evening, bipeds. It is that time of the month. Yeah, that's really weird when I say that. Hey, Stephen Sashen here, co-founder and chief barefoot officer from Xero Shoes, and this is the Ask Me Anything that we do on the third Tuesday of every month. Is that right? Second, whatever Tuesday it is. This is the time we're doing that, and this is where you can ask me anything. This is a live event, but if you're not watching live, that's okay. If you are watching live, or if you're not, you can leave comments below wherever it seems that you can leave comments, and I will see them on my screen right over, where did it go? There. So if you see me looking over there, that's because someone has asked me something or said something that I'm going to respond to. And again, if you're not watching live, you can still put in your comments and somebody from our Xero Shoes team will respond to you that way. Okay, what are we doing here? For people who don't know, let me just do the quickest intro. Peter Cunnington says hi. Hey, Peter. For people who don't know, let me just do the quickest intro to Xero Shoes by talking about your feet, which most people don't know, like some really cool things about them. A quarter of the bones and joints of your entire body are in your feet and ankles. That's so they can bend and flex and move, which is all about letting you support yourself, to have for mobility, agility, and balance. If your feet can't do that, then that function tries unsuccessfully to move up in your ankle, your knee, your hip, and your back, which aren't wired for that kind of function, which can cause all sorts of problems. Similarly, you have more nerve endings in the sole of your foot than anywhere but your fingertips and your lips. Why? So your brain knows what you're stepping on or stepping in, so it can help control you no matter what terrain you're walking on or in or over by letting your feet do that thing first and foremost. So what we're doing here at Xero Shoes is trying to let your feet do their job, bending, flexing, moving, feeling, so the rest of your body can do its job enjoyably, effectively, and efficiently. And did I say enjoyably? That's probably the most important part. So how do we do that? It's by getting out of the way of things that get in the way. So I'm going to ask you some dumb questions, and feel free to answer these in your head, but I kind of know what the answers are. Which is better, weaker or stronger? Not a trick question. I know I said it was a dumb question. I'm sure that you're thinking stronger most of the time. Cool. So let's talk about weaker, because weaker is the problem. If you want to make this joint weaker, this part of your arm, your elbow, what do? You don't use it. You put it in a cast, because over time, by just supporting this one joint, the muscles, ligaments, and tendons around it get weaker. And there's only a handful of them here. But you've got 110 muscles, ligaments, and tendons in each foot. And so if you have a shoe that doesn't let your feet move, what's happening to those muscles, ligaments, and tendons? That's right, they're getting weaker. Supporting things makes them weaker. So how do you make something stronger? You use it. You have something that lets your foot bend and flex and move the way it's supposed to. Now, if your foot's bending like this, you got bigger problems. But the point is, Xero Shoes let your feet do what they're supposed to do. Here's a simpler one. Which is better, restriction or freedom? Again, dumb question. I'm assuming you're going to go for the freedom part. Why are we shoving our feet into things that have this shape? Why are we putting a foot-shaped thing called your foot often into a non-foot-shaped thing called a shoe with a pointy toe box? That not only does that restrict things, which is problematic, again, for balance, agility, and mobility, but just taking your big toe and moving it in can reduce blood flow into your foot, and that can cause all sorts of problems. So, Peter, I'll get to you in just one sec. So let me give you another one. Which is better, numbness or feeling? Aside from when you're having surgery. So, you want to be responsive. You want to be feeling things. And again, how much can you feel through a shoe with this much or even more cushioning? That's a problem. So we use what we call our Feel True rubber soles, which are designed to give you traction and protection, but also enough ground feeling so your brain knows what you're stepping on or stepping in to help you move effectively, efficiently, and enjoyably. What else can I say about these? Which is better, proper posture or misalignment? I'm going to go for proper posture. So when you elevate your heel, that tips you forward just a little bit. I know it sounds crazy. That little bit makes you then have to lean back a little from your ankles, your knees, your hip, or your back and put strain on any one of those joints, even if it's a tiny little bit of elevation between your heel and the ball of your foot. So we make these things flat. Zero drop is what that's referred to. All of our shoes are like that, to allow your feet to do what they're supposed to do. So allow your body to align properly, or at least not get in the way of the way it should be aligning. Is there anything else I can say about that? And then, there's just a lightweight thing. So Xero Shoes are so lightweight compared to other similar products. We've literally had people say they went to bed still wearing them because they forgot they had them on. And they're also perfect for travel because they're really versatile. Now we have 60 different styles of casual and performance shoes, boots, and sandals that people use from everything from taking a walk on the beach to, a little hike on the backyard to literally playing in the NBA and WNBA. We have professional basketball players playing in a shoe that we developed, the X1. And I think I might have forgotten to mention, we also, these things, they say you need to replace them every 200 to 300 miles because the foam wears out or the outsole wears out. We made these extra durable. We back all of our shoes and sandals with a 5,000 mile sole warranty. So that's the intro. I got one other thing I'm going to say about things that are coming up that you're going to get a kick out of. But first, I'm going to address Peter really quick. Peter said, got the Dylan shoes on sale. We have had frankly, more things on sale than we ever have before. Not even sure why, but suffice it to say, take advantage of that. And then, and Peter has mentioned, I've sent a message to Xero. He wants a sandal with toe protection, which is something I've been asking for quite a while, frankly. And we had one that some people loved, some people didn't. So if you have a suggestion like that one, and Peter, feel free to send this in over and over, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback and leave that suggestion. That's how our product team knows what to do next. Speaking of what our product team knows how to do next, just a quick thing. Back to school is in full gear, or coming into full gear. I don't know, full swing, full something. Anyway, back to school is coming up. That whole era, different for different people. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, the school year started after was it Labor Day? Yeah, Labor Day. Now it's starting way earlier. Well, happily, we have some new things for both kids and parents for back to school. On the kids side, we have both our Dylan. This is the knit. We've got the Dylan. That is available for bigger kids. We have new colors for the Prio for bigger kids, and for littler kids. Hold on, I just got to do the whole show here because frankly, these are just way too adorable. So for tinier kids, we're getting able to help kids who are younger and younger, smaller and smaller. I'm just going to show all these off. I'm saving perhaps the best for last, especially if you are a certain kind of person. You'll see what I mean. But a whole bunch of new Prios that have both laces, or you can use the Velcro. I still got a few more. Hold that thought. We have some of the Dylan slip-ons as well that are for tiny little people. And then I told you I'm saving the best for last. There's a whole lot of different colors. I'll hold them all up. Okay, wait for it. And then this one. So, and there's going to be, I think it might be out already. I'm not positive. This same thing for mom too. So women's version of this shoe also. So wait, I'm going to hold all these up because these are just flat out adorable / crazy. So there's that crowd. And then here's the Prio crowd. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. Hold on. That's a little trickier. Wait, there we go. There we go. So there's all those. Take a look. Just go to xeroshoes.com. You'll see links for finding all of those. Okay. Some questions. Jacob says, hi, back at you. Circuitous. I like that. Any chance of more variety of kid shoes in the UK? So I don't know when these are going to be available in the UK. Reach out to support at xeroshoes.com and ask them that, because I just don't know. I don't store that information in my head. I got way too much. In fact, that's why the hair looks like this, is the stuff that is leaking out. No. Are you going to bring back the Jessie sandal? Yes, and better. Probably not until the spring, but absolutely. And okay, that's the product stuff. That's the what we do and why we do it stuff. One other fun announcement. Wait, I got to find this one. I forgot to make a note about this. Somebody else that you can follow. We have another. Well, first of all, I'm going to give you a few of these now that I think of it. One sec. We have our friend Judy. Judy is walking across America to bring attention to Alzheimer's. What's the word? Treatment, Alzheimer's something. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. And you can follow her and find out where she's going to be and see if you can go visit her. So check Judy out at judywalks.com. She's wearing Xero shoes when she's walking across the country. We're really thrilled about that. And then also I got one more for you to check out as soon as I can find the link. We've got, where is it? Here we go. We have someone local who is now one of our new ambassadory people, and she's having way too much fun. And I'm going to point you to Brooke Murray. Go check out Brooke. Opt in and subscribe to hear the things that she's doing, because she's a total blast. And there's Brooke's info. That should work. I didn't check that link before I clicked on it. Let me do that, because that would have been the smart thing to do. No, I don't want to do that. I want to go there. Does that work? And yes, it did. Perfect. So follow Brooke and you'll get some fun content from her as well. Okay. What other comments have come in while I'm doing that? I got to get back to wherever we are, wherever there. Daniel Guess, I look like Richard Simmons. I actually don't look anything like Richard Simmons, but I get it. I get a lot of people who have opinions about who I look like, and it goes in waves. Like I get, one person, I won't mention who, for like a few weeks at a time, then I get another for a few weeks, and then it goes from there. Peter Cunnington, back to you. Have I seen the movie Unbound? Yes, I have actually. And yeah, it's a good one. Alzheimer's awareness, Chris says, love that. Me too. That's what took my mom. She died just shy of a year ago, actually, after dealing with Alzheimer's for well over a decade. It's a horrible thing in many ways, not the least of which being just what is or isn't available for people who are going through it. So what else can I tell you? Be on the lookout in the next NBA season for Isaiah Stewart from the Pistons wearing our X1 basketball shoe. Do I have one up here? Oh, man. Somehow I don't have one up here. And be on the lookout for Temi Fegbenley. Temi is she's a WNBA player. She's a center for the Golden State Valkyries. And Temi is the reason that we actually have a basketball shoe. Because back in 2018, she reached out to me and said, I've been wearing your sandals and shoes off the court, and it's made my feet and ankles indestructible. So you should make a basketball shoe. It just so happens that our chief product officer at that time, Dennis Driscoll, Dennis had worked at Converse. And it also just so happens I had been at an event where there was a basketball strength and conditioning coach. And for some reason, I don't normally wear boots, but I was wearing a hiking boot that we made. And he said, that hiking boot is pretty much like a Converse All-Star. So I told that to Dennis. I sent him the email from Temi saying, you got to make a basketball shoe. And we just kind of made a stripped down version of that hiking boot. It wasn't great, but it was an interesting idea to get started. And Temi said, I can't wear this because it doesn't quite fit me, but I can tell you that if I was playing in this, I couldn't sprain my ankle if you paid me to. And then a couple of years ago, we started getting calls from strength and conditioning coaches from a number of NBA teams and a number of players who were getting hip to the idea of using their feet instead of supporting their feet. So we fast-tracked this program. And in the playoffs a year and change ago, we had Justin Holiday when he was at the Nuggets. He was playing in a prototype. We said, we're not even sure if it's playable. He goes, it'll be fine. And it was. And then we've had players this past season again, Temi and Isaiah and a couple other people from other teams. There's maybe like 5 teams where almost all the players are wearing that shoe, the X1, in training, getting ready to be able to wear them to play, which is super exciting. Anyway, WP Wingett, I have Parkinson's and these shoes have changed my life. I live in Memphis, home to the St. Jude I live in Memphis, home to the St. Jude Marathon. You totally don't look like Richard Simmons. We're not going to get into an argument about that. WB, do me a favor, drop me an email, just Steven@xeroshoes.com, and tell me about what your experience has been with Parkinson's and Xero Shoes. We've had a number of people who've reported, really amazing things happening. And this is something that I want to tell more people about. We think of what we're doing. We're a health and wellness company disguised as a footwear brand. And this is one category of human beings that I think we can be helpful for. So thank you for letting me know. Roberto Lazaro, hi, tried reaching you about a smart insole and an app we developed to support barefoot transition. We even made a short video just for you. Happy to share if you're interested. I'm definitely interested. Like I said, Steven@xeroshoes.com. I'm surprised that I didn't get that or didn't respond. I'm usually like right on top of things like that. So drop me an email and Steven@xeroshoes.com. Any work boots upcoming? Oh, dude, preferably safety toe. This is my mantra for the last 3 years. So I don't have a release date. It's something that's been very high on our list for a very long time. It's complicated, admittedly, to make something that gives all the benefits that you actually need in a work boot, plus all the things that you want for something that lets your feet do what feet are supposed to do. And especially if you want to get OSHA certified. That's a whole other thing and freakishly expensive. So do me a favor, Jacob, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback, leave that request. If there's any shoes that are close to what you're thinking of from a functional standpoint, or, it was a couple of years ago, we got about 200 people who had asked for that product on a webinar and took notes about what they were looking for in a work boot. And it kind of spanned a pretty wide range of features and functions. So we really should do that again at some point in the near future, just to see what's evolved and what's changed. But go to xeroshoes.com/feedback. Sorry, suddenly I've got the hiccups. And leave your comments about how that's something that you would want. So I don't know about you, but it's a beautiful sunny day, even though it's past the 21st of June. And so the days are technically getting a little bit shorter. It just doesn't feel that way. So I'm only going to stick around for as long as you guys have questions, like that one from Chris. Dream shoe would be a goth-like combat boot. Pierco does one and they sell out all the time. So when you go to xeroshoes.com/feedback, A, say that, and B, put a link to that shoe. That'd be a hoot. It's actually something that's come up in conversation. So I don't know where that is with the product team. I haven't had a powwow with them. My wife and I took a vacation. That's how you pronounce it. Something we haven't done in like 15 years since we started Xero Shoes 16 years ago. And what was the point of saying that? So we haven't talked to the product team about some of the things that they're planning since we left, which was the end of May. And we're literally, even though we got back, my God, like just shy of a month ago, we're just getting caught up with all the things from when we were away. P.S. If you haven't been to Copenhagen or any part of Denmark, go. That was our message. We loved it there. All right. I'll do a going once, going twice. Just a reminder, actually, while I'm doing that, we have some new colors and new products for big kids and little kids. The Prio for bigger, here's a Prio for bigger kids and a Dylan for bigger kids. And then on the little kids side, we've also got Prio and Dylan. I'm going to try and hold these up. I'm going to have some of them in the wrong hand because this is just tricky to do one-handed. Wait, that's definitely in the wrong hand. I'm just going to hold them all up. So here's one set of tiny, I mean, my God, these are so cute. It's ridiculous. And then here's another set over here. Wait. And then the pièce de résistance. I know that some of you have kids. You will have a particular child who will fall in love with this. And yes, we do have a version of that for a parent as well. All right. Peter Cunnington, speaking of Parkinson's, I just saw the Apple TV Plus movie with Michael J. Fox. Oh, it's on my list. And WB, go hit a trail for me. I love Colorado. It's been almost 6 years. Have a great day. Yes, we live on a trail. So every day I get to walk my dog on a delightful Colorado trail. It is spectacular. All right. Well, as always, this is a total pleasure. For those of you who've been here before, thank you. It is your support that has gotten us to where we are, helping well over 1 million people discover the fun and benefits of natural movement, actually way more than that in many ways. And for those of you who are new, we do this every month. If you're not getting info about what we're doing, just go to xeroshoes.com/newsletter to subscribe. I always forget to do this, so I'm going to try not to this time. I have a joke. I go, everyone's got a podcast. And he's so sick of everyone in their podcast. Hear more about that on my podcast. But I've got a podcast called The Movement Movement. It's all about moving well and better. And mostly it's me having conversations with people who are doing really clever things about natural movement, or sometimes not even physical movement, sometimes mental movement or digestive movement. That's a whole other thing. And I'm going to put the link to the podcast. You can find it if you just search for The Movement, if I could only type, jointhemovementmovement.com. That's where you can find it. You can see where you can get access to the podcast itself, all the previous episodes, and the way you can get in touch with us for that. And I think that will be it. So once again, thank you. But most importantly, go out, have fun,